What's going on, everybody? So today what we're going to be going through is doing a VLOOKUP automation without a script, and it's going to be to link records and also create records that did not previously exist. So in this example, it's going to say we have this new time entry for this company. Go find that company, and this is on a bunch of imported data. But if that company does not yet exist, then create that company with that name. So that's what we're going to be doing. So without further ado, if you haven't met me before, my name is Ben Green. I'm the owner of OptimizeIS. We help businesses build these systems to increase their throughput in their operations. In this example, we're going to be going through my CRM. So this is a CRM I'm rebuilding, but that's what we're going to be going through. So to start off, we have this record of time entries in this table called toggle. And basically we have, in this example, I have a few different things that I consider entities or companies just as test data here. There's 3 companies. There's marketing, sales, and business development, and OptimizeIS. And these are companies that I'm using as just test data. Normally these are client company names that I'm tracking time against. But these are just a few unique names that I want to find or create in the company table using Airtable automations. So how we're going to do this is we first needed a way to trigger this automation, and then we need to use our VLOOKUP script. So, or it's actually not a script, but how we are going to trigger this is a place where people get hung up on, is a checkbox. So this is going to be temp VLOOKUP run. So I'm going to use this checkbox for the 5 minutes or so that it'll take me to do this automation. Then I'm going to delete that field, and I'm going to delete the automation because records will be handled differently later on. But basically how it's going to work is I'm going to check this checkbox, and it's going to go find OptimizeIS in the company table. Now, how is it going to find OptimizeIS in the company table? It is going to be using this name field right here, which just says OptimizeIS. So let's go back to toggle. So it's going to say the client name has to equal that name. Now, a lot of times what I'll do is to make sure, like, there's things that mess Airtable up are like weird spaces as well as capitalization. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a formula field in each of these tables that's going to clean up my search field. So let me add a field to the right, and this is going to be dev search. Again, this field is going to be deleted, but it's going to just be a formula field. So, and yeah, let me re-add that, show you how. So what I did is right-clicked on this client name, clicked insert right, named the field dev search, and then the field type is going to be a formula. In both of these tables, I'm going to use the same formula, and it's going to be a nested formula, but I'll show you exactly how to write it. You can pause the video and just write it exactly how I do. The first one is going to be trim. I'm going to click on trim right here. So trim, what it does is it removes white space at the beginning and end of a string. So if like it said sales biz dev space, it would take the space off the end. So I'm going to say it's going to be trim of the client name. So your field name should say client name, and it should be in curly braces. If it's not purple, if it does not have your field purple right here, then something went wrong. But it should be 2 curly braces with your field name in between it. So I'm going to copy that. So you can hit Command A and then Command C. That copies it. And now we're going to write a new formula. So we're going to say lower. So lower, what lower does is it makes everything lowercase. So capitalization, I believe, matters in this script or in this automation. So we're going to type out the lower, open and close parentheses, and then we're going to paste our old formula in there. So this whole formula should say lower, trim, client name, and then 2 close parentheses. You'll see what that does. So here, if there was a space here, in this example, there would be no space at the end. And this is what it's going to search. Okay, so we're just going to, if you double click on the field header, we're going to take this formula and we're going to go add it to the companies table. And this, I guess I should preface, this is not necessary. You will just, I believe, find better results by cleaning up the data first. Okay, so this, I tried to copy over my name or my formula and I have an error. So like I said a second ago, if your field right here is not purple, you have something wrong. So in this case, my field is not client name, it's just name. So I want to take out the word client. Still not right because I have a space. So I'm going to highlight that space and take it out. Now we have success. So now it says optimize IS, that's perfect. So I'm just going to copy this dev search. So now we get into the actual meat and potatoes of the video. We want to search using our cleaned up search field and search in the companies table. So I'm going to go up here to automations. This is going to be our first automation, which will actually be deleted, but that's still exciting. I'm going to delete this automation, so I'm not even going to name it. But it's going to trigger based on that checkbox field. So at the beginning of this video, I added checkbox field in the toggle table that said temp VLOOKUP run. And that is what I want to use as a trigger, because automations don't run on all historical records. They only run on records that newly match those conditions. So when a record matches conditions in the toggle table where my checkbox field is checked, which is dev VLOOKUP run. So toggle table, when that checkbox field is checked, we're going to say choose record and use that test one that I had. Okay. So now what I want to go do is I want to go find a record in the companies table. And I want to base it on a condition. And I'm going to use both those dev search fields. So this is going to say what field in the companies table do you want to search using? It's going to be the dev search field. And then what key thing here is you want to change this little gear right here. You can click on the gear and click dynamic. So I want to search in that dev search field in the companies table using the dev search field from the toggle table. Keep in mind I triggered off of the toggle table. So when I click the little blue plus, it's going to let you pull any field from that toggle table. In this case, somewhere is going to be dev search. So dev search is dev search. I'm going to test that. In this case, we found one. That's perfect. So now I also want to account for if I did not find that record. So I'm going to add a little bit of advanced logic, and I'm going to say conditional logic. So I want to say here, do something if I found a record, and do something else if I did not find a record. So I want to say if find records, so here we have length. So if length is greater than 0, then that means I found something. And I just want to update the time entry record. So I want to update the toggle time entry record. And how I do that is you need the record ID, which luckily we have from the trigger. So if you click you want to update the toggle time entry table, which record you want to pull that. So click the little blue plus, you want to pull that from the trigger record. So you hover over this first one right here, then you want to pull the record ID. And we want to link to the company table. So first it says what table do you want to update, then what record do you want to update, now what fields on that record and that table do you want to update. We only want to update the company's linked record with the company we just found. So now we're going to say use our find records from find records. So click the little blue plus, say from the find records, use the Airtable record IDs. So make a new list of all of those records we found, which it should just be one in our case. Potentially, technically could be multiple that match that. Exactly. Really should not be, but it technically could. We're going to add another condition for if we did not find optimize IS in that table. We did not find a matching company. So to do that, we're going to say, okay, here we said it's greater than 0. Now, using the little blue plus, we're going to say, what if the length of the records was 0, meaning we found none? So if we did that, we would want to go create. So this is a little bit more difficult than Zapier, because here we have to say, we have to like kind of manually say, if you did not find anything, create it separately. So we're going to say, create a record in the companies table and make the name field. So it says first, what table do you want to create this record in? Now what fields do you want to fill in when you create that record? We're going to say fill in the name field, and we're going to use the client name, optimize IS. And then we'll have the record ID from the company. So now to save myself some time, I'm going to duplicate this action where we updated the record, and I'm going to drag it down here. So you can use these 6 little dots to drag it. Down here, I'm going to say update the record. So the only difference is in this scenario, when I'm updating the record down here, I don't have any record IDs from this. So instead of updating the company linked record with those, I'm going to say use the record ID from this created record right here. So use the little blue plus, click on this, create record, and use this Airtable record ID. Now we should be able to turn this on, go back to data, and run this again. So let's see. Let's check this, which should trigger the automation, and it linked to the company. Now I'm going to add a lookup field, so you can right click right here, add a lookup field of the name of the company. So you can see, oh, sweet, that worked. Let's do it again on this one, and this one, and this one, and we should see all of these work. Sweet. Now let's do it on something. So let's go over to the company table, review what we have. There's no filters on this, so the only record in here is optimize IS with the name. There's going to be some that don't exactly match optimize IS. So here in the toggle table, I want to click sales, marketing, 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 marketing. Let's see what happens. Okay. Sweet. So now if I go back to companies, I'll see, okay, there's perfect. There's 3 of them right here. And optimize IS, marketing, sales. And in toggle, it didn't duplicate them. It just linked them all to the right one. Now I can say, drag it down for optimize. It links to all of them. And what I would do if I was doing this for all of these is I would just copy this checkbox, Command Shift down to highlight all of the rest of the checkbox fields, Command V to paste. It's kind of satisfying to watch, but you can say like % filled. It's going to take a little bit if you have quite a few records that you're triggering on. It's going to take a little bit for this to run. So just give it like 5 minutes or so most of the time, and it should be complete. But shortly it will start, this number will start going up, and it will start triggering on all of them. And it's kind of cool, you can see them fill in. So yeah, you see this just start jumping up now after it started processing all of them. If I zoom out, we may see some of these start getting filled in, which is exciting. Sweet. So yeah, this is how that works. It looks like all of these that I'm scrolling through right now are optimize IS. But maybe some of, I guess all of those are optimize IS. But if I had done it on all of them, it would go based on all of them. So I hope this was helpful on how to use the like VLOOKUP automation to go find or create companies in the company table and do that linked record action. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions on this. If you want to continue into the CRM build, you can click on the video here in the end screen. Some of the next things we'll be doing is just keep on building out this database here. So far we've brought in toggle data, we've brought in Calendly data. We're going to bring in emails as well. So if you want to keep following, just click the link in the end screen right here and you can continue the journey of building out this database.